Dear students, so today we will check that how can we find the exponential smoothing forecasting. So this method is a bit different from the previous moving average method because we use a formula over here, and that formula. So in this formula, basically, what we have, we find the next forecasting value by previous actual value and the forecast value. We look into the previous actual value and forecast value, and then we find it. So for this one, this alpha value will be given, which is 0.2 in our case, and 1 minus alpha is 0.8. So you can easily calculate that one. The simplified version of the formula is like this one. So ft is, which is equal to which will be equal to 0.2 plus 0.8 ft, right? So that is like the simplified version of the formula. Okay, so you can see over here. So with these values, when I compute the value, so it becomes very simple and then it can be easily calculated. So I put my formula here, okay, in this one, because in the first one value is the same as the second one, but you need to put a formula in the second one. Second formula will be like, for example, 0.2, which is the alpha, right? And 0.8, which is 1 minus alpha, right? So this is value is given, and then E5 is the actual value 80, and F5 is your FT, which is the forecast value, which we forecasted in the previous week, right? So for week 3 we did the same thing, right? And for week 4 we did the same thing. Okay, for week 5 also the same thing, and similarly for week 6 also the same thing. So we take the previous actual values and forecast value and multiply with the alpha and 1 minus alpha. Okay, since every forecasting has an error, so we apply the actual value, which is the sales and the forecast sales. So basically this is, when I say forecast, so this is forecast sales. So both are sales, but one is the forecast we just predicted, and this is basically the actual one. Okay, so actual one is like, for example, 80. You can see like this is 80 basically, and this one is your, like, FT. So just to make it clear for you that these are two different entities, right? Okay, so these are two different entities. Okay, so now you see over here error. So as I told you, so there is no error because there is the difference is because the same values for the first week we cannot forecast, but for the second week we can forecast, and the error is there. So error is $5 errors. Okay, and the third week the error is this, no error. For the 4 week 5 error. So as I told you that statisticians, they don't like the negative sign. So just to make it positive, we use absolute function, so ABS function, and all negative values becomes positive. Or the second method is like, to take a square of the value. So when you take the square of the value, so this is like, cap. So the cap function we can apply on the in the Excel, and then you can get all the values, or you can use your calculator. For absolute percent error, APE, so APE is very simple, like, the absolute error divided by this actual sales, like, that is 80, and multiply by 100. So this is our APE. So similarly, you just like drag and drop and you will get all the values, right? Okay, so this formula is applied everywhere, you can see over here. Okay, and now the most important thing which we always desire is MAD or MAE, the same thing, MSE and MAP. So how can we find it? Just take the average of the absolute errors. Okay, so that is your MAD, uh, and that is like means average deviation or means average error. And then we have MSE, means square error. So square error we have it, but it is not the mean, so we take the mean of all the values, and that is MSE, right? So how we take the mean, the average, just add them up and divide by the 7, because we have 7 entries. And similarly, for absolute percent error, we have individual week by week absolute percent error, but we don't have the average for all the 7 weeks, and we find that one, and that is MAPE, mean absolute percent error. So I hope you understand this exponential smoothing forecasting concept. See you in the next video.